Hi ninjas, how are you guys doing? It's your girl Owamie aka Miss Fair Focal, running back for our entertainment. Now guys, please do make sure that you subscribe. I absolutely love you. And yes, story times are actually coming back this side just for a while until I can manage 2 channels, and then we'll go to the other channel, darling. Okay, now my voice is obviously cracked because number 1, I've got flu. Number 2, I just came back from the groove. This makeup was still looking bang, so I was like, we are filming, okay, like it's like 3:18 right now. Like literally, if you guys do not watch these videos and like and comment, like, can you guys just like for the dedication? Now I'm gonna go ahead and just give this disclaimer, guys. This is a story time. Obviously, this is something that happened in my life. Unfortunately, I was with my ex for majority of my adult life, so most things that happened that are story times that I can talk about, they unfortunately involve him. However, I don't want to lie, this is not me trying to bash him or anything. I'm just telling you guys my experiences. If you guys, some of you can choose to say you're gonna learn something from it, that is great. And obviously it's also for entertainment. You guys should laugh at my pain and my stupidity, because Ugo was very much dumb, okay, at one point. Stupid in love, honey, okay, stupid in love. And so yeah, if anyone has a problem with it, I don't know what to say. You can go ahead and click off. You don't have to watch this video. But yeah, unless we shed him, I don't see why you should be so concerned. Anyway, ninjas, let's go ahead and get into this. So this is a story time about how my ex left me with an unpaid rent, honey, a whole rent bill. My dumbass went back and he did that again, like years later, and you guys will get to connect the dots, right? So basically, I think that the first video will have come out already, the story time of how my guy gambled my car, my first car, away. So obviously after that, you guys, you know, there was I won't say that there was tension, but because I never yelled or even, like, you know, shouted at that situation, I think maybe there was some anger that was inside that was boiling. I do not know. Now basically what had happened, you guys, was that my ex got like this other guy that was like, that guy was so short, you guys. I'm short, but yeah, he was very short. He was just so, he was older, a lot older, a bit, but he used to talk too much, man. He was someone that was very good with his mouth. And now because I knew repella it's very yes. I always used to be somebody that would try my best to just not have people around him. And it was never ever even for the reason of, oh, it's because I just want to control, or oh, it's because I don't want him to live his life. It was literally because, you guys, whenever people get close to him and they realize how gullible he is, they always used him. Always. I can't even remember one single person that never used him. Actually, I'm lying. It's only one guy that I know. But he wasn't in our life like that. But any other person that would get into his life, like, honestly, you guys, they would just see how gullible he is, how easy it is to push your mind into him, and then, like, he would just follow the direction and do whatever it is that he wants to do. So basically, you guys, like, after I gambled my car away, he started being very close with this guy, right? So I'm gonna call this guy Shorty, right? So Shorty, you guys, I just didn't like his demeanor, man. He was too talkative. But I was like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? I mean, my ex, you know, at this point, there's nothing that he can really what is he going to mess up? Like, there's nothing more to mess up. There's no money, so what is he going to mess up? So basically, you guys, you know, the two of them, they would come like to our place. We were staying in the same complex, and then they would talk, and then sometimes, like, you know, they'll be like, yeah, we need to talk about men stuff, and they have to go out. Number 1, I always knew that, hey, like, they're going to just fura this one that is mine. They're going to take advantage, I know it. But because of my ex, you guys, somehow I can't believe I stayed for that long. Hey, I honestly can't. But he was just sometimes he would be like so excited just for someone to give him some attention. I don't know, and I think that he's such a people pleaser that that's also a problem. So these two were together, apparently hey, they're talking men business, whatever. I'm like, sharp, now I'm not being told anything. Now this was still the same 2014. So after that, you guys, they decided no, they're going to Durban, that these cheap cars that they're going to buy, and then they go to Durban, they come back. When they come back, you guys, the car is not registered in a South African plate number. I don't know what is going on, because now I start just, you know, doing some research. That this was 2014. Google, I wasn't like a fan of Google like that, or not to say a fan, I was just not familiar with it, that you can literally get any information. And again, remember, data was also a problem. So you know, your access to the internet is also limited because you don't have data. But you know, he starts telling me, no, you know, there's this and this that needs to be done with the car, and then the plate number is gonna come back. I'm not going to like reveal everything now, but you know, I just realized that no, man, this car pillar plate is not even supposed to have been bought. You understand? I don't have, like, I can't say much because the car is right here. At that point we had our at that point we had the Nissan, and now there was this car which was a Honda Jazz, right? So that Honda Jazz, it was being shared between the two of them, between my ex and this new friend of his, right? So that, like, we bought the car together. He actually told me that the guy bought the car, and you know, obviously because they're in business together, so he's also allowed to drive it 50% of the time. Now I was like, I know for a fact that now mine has no money, so it means that obviously what he's saying has to be true. I'm like, okay, for the first time, like, you're the one taking advantage of the situation, because from before people just take advantage of you, you understand? So okay, sharp, you know, everything goes and everything. As I was saying, it seems like the car was not even supposed to have been bought because it's not registered in a South African plate number. Then there was a time when they were like, oh, you know, police were going around taking those cars, whatever. It was in 2014, you guys, and it seemed as if, like, in Midrand, a lot of people were having those cars. So when you are caught with that car and you're a South African, apparently they needed some papers and stuff. I don't know if the papers were just not okay in that car, you guys, or not, but I do remember that I used to just drive it. I didn't know anything. So I guess if ever the police had caught me, it would have been pele, honestly, because I didn't know anything that was really going on. So with that happening, this Mr. Shorty, you guys, Shorty takes the car. When Shorty takes the car, he takes it and he parks it somewhere where my ex could not have access. So I'm now like, okay, like, what's going on now? It's like, yeah, you took the car, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, but you know, you can't be too upset. It's his money after all that bought the car. Honestly, the fact that he was even allowing you drive the car, it was just something that obviously, like, we should just be grateful for, because it's his car. He's the one that came up with the plan. He's the one that funded the car and everything. Guys, that was when my ex, as he was busy shouting and yelling there, he basically blurred out that, no, actually, I'm the one that bought the car. Now I'm looking at him. I'm like, where did you get the money? Because apparently the car was 30,000 rands. And I knew for a fact that he didn't have that money. I was like, no, I went to the bank and I made a loan. One, I knew that this man does not have money. And I knew that his bank balance somehow could not allow him. So I was not just asking myself, which nonsense did he put himself in now for him to be able to even, like, get this loan of 30,000? Guys, I was just not understanding. I remember I didn't even try to get all the information. I was so pissed. You need to understand, this man just gambled my car away. Number two, he then lied to me to say that, no, you know, they are going into business. This Mr. Shorty is the one that is funding. Can the old guy behind my bank went and did a loan at 30,000? Again, he's the idiot in the situation. Again, he's the fool in the situation. Imagine you paid full price for a car, but it's only the two of you guys that drive the car. He gets the car 50% of the time. You get the car. How does that make sense if I'm the one that bought the car? That's the first thing. The second thing, this car seems like it was not really legit. It wasn't a legit thing, or a legal thing, I should say. All the risk falls on you losing all your money. This person is just coming, talking with his mouth, jabber, 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 and then when, not like an idiot, you jump into those decisions again like a fool. Guys, I was so pissed. I remember I was so pissed. Yo, guys, I was so pissed. And then I remember, like, we had a huge fight after that, and then I literally had to, like, leave the house. And mind you guys, like, at this point, Ray is already born, so he's a newborn. My sister is there. Like, guys, we were fighting. We were fighting. When I tell you now, my ex was dumb. Yo, nagedy body. Guys, now I'm trying to, like, think about it, guys. We were in debt. Like, in debt. Mind you, I had taken loans to close his loans. The idiocy that I'll never ever advise someone. Okay, so I'm still having debts. Instead of him, even if he was able to get some bank power that can give him 30,000 rands, instead of him coming to me as his wife, obviously as his woman, and actually say, hey baby, you know, there's 30,000 that we can loan, please, like, let's sit down and talk about what we can actually do with this money. You know, I know for a fact that money would have helped so much. It would have done something like really miraculous, right? But no, Shem. Okay, decided that Owamie is just she can't know about this. This is man stuff. Because if Owamie knows about it, obviously I'm going to refuse. Because what kind of dumb cop goes out there and invests all their money? You can't say you're going into business or partnership with someone, but you're the only one that's giving out money. The same way that when it came to him with the gambling of my car, he was the only one in a position to lose, and he lost everything, right? Guys, I was really honestly so pissed the day that I found out that Ugai went and did that 30,000 rands loan. So basically after that, I literally had to get out of the house to just cool down, because guys, it was just honestly too much for me, I should say. So obviously it's been a long time. I may be confusing certain timelines and stuff, but after that, you guys, there was a day that I overheard him talking on the phone. So he's on the phone, he's talking to these people. I can hear obviously what the other people are saying on the other side. You know, I could say it was a long phone call, so it piqued my interest. I was like, let me listen to like exactly what Ugai wants to say, basically, like what he's saying. And then guys, he was talking to debt counselors. At that point, I had just gotten a job, but it wasn't really like a job, you guys. It was real promotions. If you know that company, you just know that it's not really a job. In my opinion anyway. So I hear him basically talking to these debt counselors, and it's like these people are almost closing on a deal of some sort. Guys, when I heard that, I think all the anger of everything, that day I yelled, I shouted, I spoke to him like a child. Guys, I had so much rage, I had so much anger, because we were living, guys, we were living like beggars. We were literally living like beggars. You get paid today, tomorrow there's no money. You have to already start thinking of which bill am I gonna pay, which bill am I not going to pay. That whole process of it's month end today, and today you're in the bank reversing everything. Guys, I lived that life now because of this man. I did. And when I tell you I met this man, I honestly did. I didn't have any debt. But in meeting him and his financial decisions, and me constantly wanting to be the one that bails him out, it honestly almost destroyed my life. That day after I yelled, you guys, he decided that he's packing his bags and he's leaving. So he left. Honestly, at that point, you guys, I was like, I don't even give a damn. Like, I am tired of this. I am tired of this man. I am tired. I'm just done. So that day, basically at that time, so Nizan had an accident, but it was now back. However, I don't know if they call it there was something in that car, man, that they said you couldn't really drive it and it's straight. It needed someone that knew how to control the car proper. I honestly couldn't do it, but my ex used to drive it fine. So we had 2 cars. It was that one, and it was also this Honda Jazz that obviously was not even okay. And mind you, he started fighting with Mr. Shoti, and I got in to say, oh, it's my husband that actually bought the car, whatever. And then that was how he actually got the car back, after even Mr. Shoti's older brother, I think it's an older brother or younger brother, was even involved, and the situation was explained. And then he then said, no, Shoti should give my ex his car back. Imagine, guys, how weak do you have to be as a man, and how much of a weak man someone should see you as they felt they had a right to take a car that you paid for because of Budom Cop. Imagine the insult. And obviously he had convinced him, no, don't tell your wife, because now they used to see me, I'm here, you know. So when he left, basically said I had to choose one of the cars because he has to go with one of the cars. Obviously, number one, the Honda was fully paid for, so it wasn't having a monthly installment, where else the Nissan still had to be paid every month. Number two, the Nissan, obviously because of it was fixed but not fully fixed, I couldn't drive it, so obviously I said I'm gonna take the Honda. And then I continued, and I was now just working, you guys, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna continue with life. Now when I was in Joburg CBD, I packed the Honda and I was working so in town. When I came back, you guys, my car was gone, so the car was stolen. I still have suspicions that Shoti is the one that actually tracked the car and took the car, but I don't know. But the car was gone. I went to the police station to try figure things out, and just nothing worked. They basically told me that, you know, after, I think they said 24 hours, if they've not find it, chances of it ever being gotten like 0 to nil. And I remember that day, because we had gone as a group, so we had to call back in the office to say, hey, the car that we were coming with has been stolen, so we need a car that will come and fetch us. So a car came and fetch us, and then after that we went to the office because we had to submit the papers. And then after that I had to catch a taxi home, you guys. When I tell you my wallet was gone, the little money I had in there was gone. It's like when you go through it in life, you go through it. If you guys just want a story time on how they stole my car and what happened, you can comment down below and I'll tell you. But as I was on my way in the taxi, you guys, I get a call, and the call that I get is from like the agent, right? Now the agent that we were renting from was a guy that honestly I never used to deal with him. He used to deal with my ex, because my ex was the one that was responsible for the payments of the rent and everything. So he calls me, and when he calls me, he's like, yeah, ma'am, you know, I switched off your lights. I'm like, why did you switch off my lights? It's like, no, it's been a full month now. I've been calling your husband, and I've been telling him, you know, he's been promising me that he's gonna pay me. So he's like, I've been calling your husband and he's been promising me that he's gonna pay, but when I called him, I think he said yesterday or today, he said that he's not even staying there anymore, and then he gave me your numbers so that I should call you and sort things out. Now I'm asking him, like, sort what out, because rent has been paid. He was like, no, this month's rent was not paid. And that time, you guys, it was like probably the 29th, if I'm not too mistaken. Guys, I felt like someone just poured water on me. Mind you, my car just got stolen the same day. I'm going home with a taxi, and in the taxi, the landlord, who is the agent, is telling me that they've cut the lights off because we did not pay. And I knew that the house rent was paid. I remember even beginning of the month, I'd asked my ex, obviously, like, did you pay? And he said yes. And mind you guys, I think the rent that time was like 5,550, if I was not too mistaken. The 5,550, you guys, was not in the house. it was not. So obviously I assumed it went into paying the rent. And the guy did not pay rent. When he was deciding to leave, he was leaving like a fucking thief, knowing damn well he didn't pay the rent. He didn't even bother to tell me, hey, by the way, I didn't pay rent. Guys, I didn't even know where did the money go or who duped him this time. Yo, guys, I remember like trying to beg that guy, like, please, don't switch off the lights. I don't want to cry, guys. Like, my baby is in the house. Guys, he was like, I've already left and I can't go back. I will just go tomorrow. So mind you guys, I'm in the taxi, I'm crying. Now I'm crying because everything is just too much for me. And so basically he says that he's gonna come and switch on the lights the following day if I paid a certain amount. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but it was a certain amount that he said if I paid tomorrow, then he's gonna come and switch on the lights. Explain the situation that I didn't even know that the rent was not paid, but I knew it was not an amount of money that I had, you guys. So as I was going home, guys, I'm thinking, how am I even going to go to work? Because I don't have a car now. I was working in Randburg. I was in Midrand going to Randburg. I didn't even know where to catch the taxis. It was just, guys, I felt like my whole world was just crashing down. I got home and I remember that night, when I got home, I got home late, and it was my sister, my helper, and my baby. And I remember just telling them, guys, they stole the car. And I remember my baby sister just being so concerned. And guys, Ray was screaming. Yo, my baby was screaming. It was just a few months, obviously. Ray never used to like the darkness. Other than that child used to just scream. But he was screaming so much, you guys. And they were just sitting in the dark. They had really switched off the lights. So after that, I just, I had to call some people, try borrow money. And I hlanganised that money and it came together. And then the following day, by God's grace, I was able to make that money. And I was able to send the money to, obviously, the agent. And then they came and then they put on the lights. So at least the lights were on. So I'm sorry, guys, my memory card got full. So after that, you guys, I obviously paid, they switched on the electricity. And mind you guys, it was like either the 28th, 29 or 30. But it was very close because I remember that they actually wanted me to pay the next month rent. Like, it was like back to back. Guys, I didn't have that money. I remember just going to the office and explaining to my boss that, I'm having a problem. This is what happened, and my car is stolen. It got stolen when I was at work. So I think they felt for it. And I remember that time, the boss basically approved 5,000 rands. It was still not enough, so I had to take the whole 5,000 rands, put it in there, and also, like, I just had to make plans. I remember there was this guy that literally saved my life. He helped me so much, that guy, you guys. And obviously I was just also making plans on like how I'm going to just basically help myself as well. So that guy was the one that even helped me to buy another car. So I asked a friend to help me, and then I bought another car so that I can be able to travel, obviously going to work. And I remember I bought a Hyundai Atos, like that small one. It was like a dream come true, because now at least it was a cash car and it was driving fine. And at least I had a car now, I could be able to just go to work and I didn't have to stress too much. But the bills were like here, because mind you guys, like everything was like with a budget of 2 people, but now I was alone having to do everything. And then after that I had to make a plan. So what I did was that I started renting out another room, because it was a 2-bedroom. So that room, I think I was charging like 3.5, which then released so much stress from me. And in my bedroom I was basically sleeping with my sister, the helper, and also our baby. And that was how it was. And by God's grace, Nje, just we survived. Now obviously this man left me with all this mess. Whenever I'd want to talk to him, he would basically not want to talk to me, right? Until a friend of mine, Dr. Netengwe, I can say his name because he's still a friend of mine, he called me this other day and he said, yo Owamie, you know what I saw today was so sad. I was like, what happened? He was like, yo, you know, Mr. B was actually here begging for food. And I'm like, what do you mean begging for food? He was like, no, he doesn't even have food. He didn't even have food to eat and stuff. And mind you guys, because of the lady that I was staying with in the other room, had decided that she wanted to go and get her own place. So she spoke to me, I think a month before. No, she didn't. She just like she spoke to me Skrillex like, oh, I'm gonna be moving out this month, and it was so close to month end. And I remember in the complex I had made a friend. So what I did was that I moved into that lady's apartment, and I was paying, I just can't remember exactly how much, but at least it wasn't like that huge amount of money, because now if the lady that was renting from me and I couldn't get someone to occupy the other room, I couldn't afford it anymore. So number one, I had to let the helper go, obviously. And now it was just my sister Ray and I, and we were sleeping in that one room, you guys. I had taken the furniture and I put it in the storage in the complex. It was someone else's, so they just allowed me to do that. It's just like people just, you know, that people that literally came through for me that time. It was really tough, and I just had to soldier on, and I had to pull and push on. Where else, had it been that my ex was someone that at least he had sense, you know, to actually say, okay, I didn't pay rent, instead of running like a thief, let me tell her that, hey, by the way, rent is not paid. I'm a woman of plan, honey, okay? Like, she will make plans and she will make things happen. But because of he was so used to like doing things and not getting the consequences of them, because I always had to carry them, that's how it went. Now after that, you guys, when I heard that he was now begging for food, guys, imagine, this is a man that left me with that bill. This is a man that did not even care whether we're getting kicked out or not, because for those months he was not even calling. He didn't even care to hear what was happening. That time he even got laid off work and he got some money. He chowed it with his friends in Medunza, and then they took his car and they uselessed it, and now it wasn't driving. They dropped it off Kompumalanga. Now they went back to Medunza, and now because he didn't have a car and they can't use him for anything, he doesn't have a job now, he doesn't have a car now. He was now having to go to my friend to beg for food. So when my friend called me, you guys, obviously it did hurt me, and I remember just telling him to say, you know what, I want you to come back. However, what I want you to do is that I want you to come back so that you can apply. I'll give you money for data so that you can apply, get a job, and get out. Like, I just wanted to help him, set him up. Guys, I was so pissed, but at the same time, I loved him. I loved him. That's why it's so funny when I see people actually come and be like, you just didn't love me. Bitch, do you know how far I come with this man? The things I've went through because of this man. So basically, guys, what I did was that obviously I couldn't afford to get like a 2-bedroom. My aunt told me to say, you know what, bring my baby sister and the baby home, and then take my ex back, because you know my aunt was like, you know, we love him, Tanami, we know people make mistakes, but at the same time it was also just that thing of, I was like, he has never like cheated on me. Because honestly I feel like, guys, I'm sorry I'm coughing, I feel like a lot of people just don't understand how much of a deal breaker cheating is for me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just help him so that he gets a job, and then he applies, you know, and then once he gets a job, he's going out, and I'm just continuing with my life. So I told him that now, because Ubuti couldn't even have food, he then picked up my call, and then he agreed. He came. Guys, when he came back with just a bag that had small clothes. They'd even taken his good clothes. So obviously he started applying, because I gave him money nyana for data and stuff, and then after that he got a job, but it wasn't paying too much. If I'm not too mistaken, it was paying like, it was not paying a lot. That's that one I can remember. And then after that, you know, he applied, he got to Standard Bank, and he started working for Standard Bank. They were not paying a lot as well, but at least it was better than the previous place, right? So at that time, that was when I basically helped him to get the car back from Mpumalanga. And I remember when he came back from Mpumalanga, he sat me down. That time we were in Soweto, guys. He sat me down and he was like, he literally, like, that was a heartfelt apology. He apologized to me, guys, and he was like, I'm so sorry, I should have seen, you know, those guys were not really my friends. I remember he even deleted like their numbers in front of me. If you guys have been watching me for a long time, you will know we actually spoke about this story time together with him. He even like apologized, and obviously, as I'm saying, guys, Bendi Domkobt in love. I accepted this apology and I was like, okay, you know what, let's go ahead and continue. So we continued living, guys. We moved from Soweto, we moved around. Obviously there's a lot that happened, but obviously when he was in Standard Bank, again, influence of friends, he did something stupid that other people were doing, but yeah, not because it's not smart enough, they caught him, only him, and he lost his job. Now we have to go up and down with our court case. If I tell you guys story timelines of the mess I've been dealing with, it's like no matter where he is, I just always knew that he's going to mess up. I always knew it. I just didn't know how, and I didn't know how much or how big, you know. So when he lost his job, it was 100% his fault, and it was for something that when I found out, I warned him. I was like, please stop, please don't do this. The same week he got caught. So he lost his job, and obviously now we can't pay rent in Gauteng. Guess what? We now had to go to Free State, which you guys, I feel like most of you guys know the story of how we went to Free State. We stayed with his his aunt, and then after that we stayed with his parents. Things did not work out. Just another story time, obviously. Now fast forward to 2020, after I found out that he was cheating and everything, and then I asked for a divorce. Honestly, I had actually sat down and I spoke to him. I was like, you know what, I don't want us to be those couples that, you know, after divorce, like, they fight as if they were never really close. I believe we loved each other. Obviously he cheated and I could not take that. So obviously I feel like if there was anyone that was supposed to be bitter sorry, it was me, right? But I was like, I'm not bitter, you know. I love you. I still want you to be happy. The unfortunate part is that now I'm also just putting myself first, and I want a divorce. So everything was fine, guys, in terms of, it did seem like Ugai accepted. Obviously at first he was like, he didn't understand. He tried to say let's work things out, but I really honestly just couldn't. So come December, I had an operation on, I can't remember if it was the 15th or 18th, I can't, the 9th, I can't remember. But I was supposed to go for my first checkup the following day, from the day that he decided that he was going to again run like a thief. So basically, guys, when did he used to get paid? Because I remember it was, I think the two days before he got paid. It was on a Wednesday, so he was getting paid on a Friday. I just forgot those days, you guys. I can't remember mine proper. I'm sorry for that. But on that Wednesday he woke up. I was sleeping on the couch because my operation was still fresh. I couldn't climb the bed, so you know, he woke me up, he hugged me, even smooshed me, was like, are we okay? I was like, yeah, well, okay, why? It's like, no, nothing, I just wanted to know. I said, okay, sharp. He's like, he's going to his cousins, hey, blah blah blah. He leaves, guys. Who guy lives even with the remote? That's where the whole remote story comes. Like, this nigga could have simply left the remote on top of the table. Knowing that I've got an operation, guys, that is that was not even a week. It wasn't even a week. It was only like being a week that day. I didn't even have a week after I was discharged from the hospital. So basically, guys, that's how Ugai left. Okay, number one, the rent was due in less than I think the rent was due in less than 12 days, if I'm not too mistaken. We had stock files that when money came, we both split, but the guy absconded right away without giving me the share of the stock files money. Everything, guys, like every single thing. But I think we're in 2020. I was just so grateful because I literally had money. I didn't have to stress about like, oh, the rent being paid or this and that. Imagine, guys, if honestly I was just someone that was not working hard and I had to stress about rent money for this stock files and everything with an operation, guys, that was not even a week. When people say Owamie has changed, Owamie loves money, Owamie talks about money all the time, guys, now if not for money, I doubt I would still even be alive. I don't want to lie, because money and God saved my life. Shame, God made sure that he's using the money I had to save me that year, because I had to hire from a driver. I didn't have someone that would drive me. My baby sister was there, but she can't drive. So I had to hire a driver. What was that? Money. So that I was able to go for my my checkup, my first checkup, which is very important, because if something was wrong, they had to catch on it fast, and if something is not healing well, then they have to make sure that you are booked for an emergency C-section. And mind you, guys, like literally the previous day, or that Wednesday, I had gone up and down, guys. The previous day, which was a Thursday, I had gone up and down, guys, just trying to get a remote, going to the police. The police are like, oh, it's both your property. Hey, I have to go to high court. Guys, that moment I can't even walk. I'm walking slow like this. The pains every step. Guys, the fibroids operation, from what I've heard, is that it's more painful than the operation of giving birth, because with the fibroids, you need to understand that wherever they were attached, they cut and they suture. So your wound is not only just outside the operation that you guys see out here. No, like inside you have got a lot of cuts. And if I'm not too mistaken, they had removed 3 or 4 fibroids and a cyst, I think. Yeah, so I was cut at about 5 places, and this side there were actually more. And mind you, yo guys, if I just explain, some of you will never understand the amount of pain I was feeling. I was supposed to be on bed rest, but I'm up and down just to get a remote, because I can't enter the place, I can't go out, like nothing. If I need someone to come in, guys, how am I gonna open for the person? Guys, it was just a nightmare. But I remember that at that time when everything was happening, I remembered, you know what, a leopard never changes its spots. This man left me with an unpaid bill and a newborn in the house, who I had to come home and find screaming in the dark. And I still forgave that, and I took him back for his sake. It wasn't even for my sake, it was for his sake, so that he can be able to at least get a job and eat. I felt for him. Years later, he thanked me by doing the exact same thing again, leaving me with all the bills. At this point, you guys, he's now leaving me with an operation. And I remember I had told him, because he had started visiting his mother often, and I just knew that whatever conversations are happening there are definitely not positive. I asked him, I was like, should I call my sister to come and take care of me? And he said, no, there's no need for that, I'm here. Kanto guy was busy planning with his mother, or no, you know, he's going to just leave like a thief. So I guess, or maybe they were counting on he was getting paid that Friday, so he left that Wednesday, so that maybe, you know, he does not pay for any bill maybe in the house. But at that time, obviously, I was now just saving my own money in my card, so he didn't even know how much I had quite a lot of money. I just paid for everything, but the one for the stock files, I really wanted that money back. That's why we were even fighting last day, because I wanted my money back. Like, what do you mean? When it came to the separation, we separated equally. Yo guys, this video, I'm so sorry. So he literally did the same thing. Literally did the same thing again. That time he just didn't even think for my son, but this time he just didn't even think for me. And as I'm saying, guys, a leopard never changes its spots. If someone can literally show you that they don't care about you once, you best believe they're going to disappoint you again. That's one thing I've actually learned, which is why even now, if someone just, you know, I realize that you just don't care about me, I'm out. It's so difficult for me to stay in that situation because I can't, guys. I honestly just cannot, you know. And I see like some people will be like, oh, you know, you talk about him because you're still maybe in love with him, or I wish you guys could work things out, you know, this and this and this. To be honest with you guys, I would rather die than go back there. I'd rather be 6 feet under than actually go back there. The financial abuse was too much, and it's so unfortunate that I didn't see it because I was in love. Do you understand? I was in love. And as much as this man went out there and tried to play victim, he knows the truth, and he knows that from everything I just said here, there is no lie. There is not a single lie. And the reason why sometimes some people don't want you to speak out is because they don't want to taint the image that they have built that is not even there. That is not even there. If I was tarnishing his image, I would actually be lying on him right now, but I'm not lying on him. You guys know I don't lie. Not like that. I don't. So guys, that's how he left me with unpaid bills, like a dumb-up idiot. Went in to save the day. Wangpinda Bafana the boys, shibubumke wangpinda foot. But honestly, I'm just happy that I have healed. I'm at a point where I've honestly healed, and I think that that is also because I'm in such a great place in my life. And obviously when I'm talking about this stuff is because I want you guys to also look into your own lives and the scenarios and the stuff that you've gone through, and you will see that someone that has showed you that they don't care about you, they have shown you in many different ways. It's just that sometimes we don't want to acknowledge it because we love them. Sometimes it's also a sense of responsibility, which is so bad. Trauma bond is not only just bonding by the trauma of physical abuse. Sometimes it's emotional, because I felt like almost as if he was my baby. I don't even want to lie, because even the time that I had to leave the marriage, when I was talking to my therapist, I remember there was a day that I was like, I know he's not gonna be okay if I leave. Like, I don't even know what to do. And she was like, girl, he's a fully grown man that should take care of himself and should be responsible for his own decisions. Like, you're not responsible for him. And I remember that really did help me a lot in terms of like just making my decision. I knew I wanted to leave because there was really nothing for me to stay for, you guys. A lot of things were bad in there. I was just holding on to, at least he's a man that doesn't cheat. But the moment he cheated, there was nothing left in the table for me to stay, which is why, yes, the first time I left, I mentally checked out. Even though it was not easy and it was very difficult and it was a very painful and excruciating process, because I just never saw him doing something like that. But it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened, you guys, for me. Because I live my life now without a burden of an old man. I don't have to worry about like who's gonna dupe him next, what's going to happen. Do you understand, guys, that I used to work so hard and tell myself, well, you know what, I'm working so hard so that whatever situation happens, at least we'll have money to bail us out. I just knew that a mess up is gonna come. The only difference is that I didn't expect the mess up to be girls, you know. But such is life, guys. That's why they say when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. I did not. And literally I actually saw it that this man only came back to me from Medunsa because he was starving. He did not have any other option, so I was his only option at that point, because where was he going to go? To his home? Trust and believe he was not going to do that. Going to his home was the lastest option, because he knows, like, bird. Okay, so I think that, you know, he came to me obviously back because I was like the saving grace, you know. I was the one that was saying, come, I'll feed you, I'll give you a place to stay. And that moment, guys, I even had to move to Randburg into a one room, like it was like a flat that had different people, and then we had to rent one room, and I remember we were paying like 2.5 there, just so that I could be able to, you know, help him and for him to apply. Guys, under the sun, there is nothing I didn't do for this man. I guess maybe one, which is still a story time that will come, but even that I almost did. And I know that sometimes you're a wife out there and you have got the same problem that I was having. Guys, it is never going to stop. That man will continue to mess up until it's like they can't be comfortable, like problems. And at most times, yes, sure, they're trying maybe to make money, sometimes that this and that, whichever excuse that is being given, even if it's a valid one. Guys, look at the actions here, because that life is one of the most stressful life ever. You never know, like, if you're getting a call, are they calling to say your husband is in jail? You never know, are they calling to say, oh, you know, he dealt with the wrong guys, now he did this. And even when we had to leave to go to Free State, he had basically duped some other guy a lot of money. I can't remember how much exactly it was. I think it was like 8,000 rands or something. And we had to leave running, guys. When that guy came now, he was now hiding. I'm like, go out. And so, like, guys, he used to do so many things. His intentions were good. He would do this so that I could get that. But trust and believe, guys, I never forced him to anything. If anything, I was the one that was constantly saying, please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'm okay. Yo, guys. And then after that, he goes and lies to his mother to basically say that now I'm the one that told him to go do all those stuff because other men are hustling and he should go. When has hustling ever meant criminology? Hi guys, we have gone through it, eh? Some of us have gone through it. But yeah, as I'm saying, if you're someone that is still in that position where your man keeps on messing up and messing up, just be prepared. He will mess up forever. And especially if when he messes up, you clean up the mess, worse. If he messes up, please don't ever be involved. Allow him deal with everything, go through the process. If it is him going to those court cases, let him go alone. This thing of being a supportive wife too much sometimes is a problem. Because they know they mess up alone, the consequences are shared. Or someone even takes a bigger portion on that. Yo, sorry guys. But yeah, basically that's what happened, guys. Yo, I used to be a dumb copish, but we thank God that our eyes have been opened, and at least at this point I'm just so grateful above anything that I don't even have a child with this person. Like, that is a blessing. I thank God for every single day. I just can't imagine life having to co-parent with this person for the rest of my life. Yo, it was gonna be torture, pure torture. So I'm just grateful that, you know, as far as him, it will only end with story times. That's it, like, darling. Okay, and I'm sure story times are definitely going to run out. I'm gonna do a lot of them so that they do run out, and then, you know, we just continue. But I just felt like this particular story time, you guys also had to listen and hear that, guys, they don't change. they honestly don't change. And if he has done you wrong once, he's definitely going to do it again. So you just always need to be prepared, because now I was very naive. I just always thought, oh, he can never, you know, my man would never. Hey, I never, the never that has never before. So that is that, boo boo. Anyway, ninjas, I love you guys. Stay blessed. I wonder what time is it now. Oh my gosh, 9 minutes past 4, but that's fine. I'm gonna sleep now, wake up, and I actually have a shoot that I need to do. So it is what it is, boo boo. I love you guys. Stay blessed, and I'll see you guys in my next upload. Bye, ninjas.